Who is Randy?
Don't bring anyone mother into this.
Yo, mama in the fucking stand!
Here's the thing, man. You were on, one of the most legendary, iconic shows, and it was crazy because I met you when the show was on, and I was like a brand new comic, and I was doing a show somewhere, like it might have been like near the UCLA campus, one of these just show. I forget. Someone throws it together. I was a newish comic, and I saw you in the hallway, and I was like, because I mean that show, people don't know if they weren't like around for it when it was on, even though it's not that long ago, but when it was
15
on,
years almost. It's been a while.
Yeah, I guess that is a while, but I fucking that show was you can't miss TV. It's hard to like think of an equivalent now because everything now is on demand and you stream and you record things, but when that show was on, we would like make it a point. Like you cannot miss.
But that was
this.
also that was before the time of streaming.
Yeah, exactly.
That was when, like, if you think about it, when is the last time you had a show that people were like, okay, Wednesday, 10:30, I got to catch this show.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Nowadays with all streaming sites, like they encourage you to binge stuff. People come out just like this, watch the whole entire season.
Yeah, tonight.
In one thing. But that show, it was so dope because you had an opportunity to watch it when it came on. Then people would talk about it all week.
All week.
And then you would wonder if they would outdo it or if the show would outdo it or even just keep that consistency.
Right.
And every week it proved to get stronger and stronger
It's
and stronger.
wild, dude.
And the show was like, I said on that show, half-hour programming, all skits weren't home runs.
Yeah.
But there was always one that just, was the signature
That's true.
of that show. And then it's like when people say, well, that was so long ago. But that's just a test of how dope the show was because it still maintains relevance in pop culture.
Oh, yeah.
It still maintains relevance in comedy. And then this Comedy Central continues to play it. But the thing about it was just so much stuff like sound bites. It was so many things and like the skits, the Black Bush sketch, Space Wars and all that. It was so ahead of its time. And even today, when something happens in pop culture right now, you could see a Chappelle Show meme that may punctuate laughter. The Charlie Murphy laugh.
Yeah.
I'm not on your
Wrong.
team. Yeah, and it was just one of the things. And when I go places, people are like, it's so weird because the show was so big and so huge and such a part of history, you can't follow it.
Yeah.
So in some people's eyes, my career has been, oh, he fell off since Chappelle Show. No, how many fucking Chappelle shows are there?
Exactly.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, ever since the Chappelle Show. No, bro, I've stayed relevant.
Yeah.
I stay funny, but you don't get a show like The Wire, but every 20, 30 years.
For sure.
You don't get a show like the Richard Pryor Show every 10 or 15 years. You don't get a show like the Flip Wilson Show. These are not normal shows.
It's a record-breaking show, man.
And then it was one of those shows like, for me, people say, so, how was it? I was like, so what was your big break? I think that I was already chipping away at it, and my stuff was on different platforms. But the Chappelle Show was one of the first things I've done where everybody watched the show.
Yeah.
So everybody got to see what I did. You know what I mean? Before that, the BET audience, they got to see what I did. I was a regular on the Ricky Lake Show as an expert on failed relationships. People
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I was on a panel like years ago. It's like the last 2 years of Ricky Lake, where they were like doing similar to what the View did.
Yeah.
They had a gay guy on the show. They had me. They had a real hood girl. They had a professional, and then they were just trying to get different perspectives on topics. And I was the one that just started shit.
Yeah.
You know, it was like.
By the way, I could see you fucking doing that.
But it was so easy on the Ricky Lake Show.
Yeah.
It was so easy. Like we would have a slow break, and in between the producer would come up and be like, Donnell, this segment sucks. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to amp them up? And I wouldn't tell them. It was like, okay, we'll trust you. And for her audience, all I had to do was say, it's because women need to get in the kitchen and make sandwiches and shut up. Ooh, go Ricky,
Yeah.
But the Chappelle Show was like, for some reason, Chappelle Show appealed to so many people. It's like, it had the people that follow me from The Wire. It had the people that follow me from people that were fans of me on a serious acting. They all came to one place.
What was that? Because obviously, like, your comics, your friends, right before this.
What was what like?
Well, I'm saying like to embark on the journey, like the ride of doing the Chappelle Show. It's like you're doing it, right? Like Dave calls you, hey man, I'm doing this show, and
Neal called me.
So Neal calls you, and you're like, okay, cool. You think it's a job, right? You're like, it's fun, whatever. But
I always thought it was gonna be fire. And the reason
You
why,
did.
because the reason why I didn't have a lot of opportunities to be on TV.
Yeah.
So I thought anything I was going to be on, it was going to be fire because I'm going to try to make this shit fire.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, to be quite honest, neither Dave or Neal had the confidence I had in the show as I had.
Really?
And the reason why is because before that, his name of his country is Pilot Boy Production. The reason that came about is because Dave had like 10 or 11 pilots that he shot that just didn't pop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, were they not? You don't know if it was just timing, it was funny,
Sure,
whatever.
yeah.
So it was a thing like, all right, here we go with this again. You know what I'm saying? Let me put my friends together. Let me put my writing staff together, and let's see what I can do. But when you've been in the business for so long, it's hard to get excited about every project.
Sure. Yeah.
Because you don't know which one is going to be the one that's like,
Yeah.
oh, I believed in it, and one person said this. So they were going into it like it was a gig. But for me, being a comic that just I wanted it to work. It had to work.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And I knew it. I used to even call the ratings. I used to be like this, yo, we're going to go from 1.5 to 1.7. They was like, yeah, boom, boom. I was right again. Boom, I was
Really?
right again. Boom, boom. Because I had the pulse of the streets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was the streets. I was still living in the streets. I was still living in Brownsville, Brooklyn, one of the toughest places. And I was, if you want to say, the voice of the street when it comes to like how people are taking it.
Uh-huh.
And I used to call Neal, and I was like, yeah, I just got off the phone with the streets, right? And Neal ain't been to no streets unless I took him, right? And he was like, what are the streets saying? And as that show was building, I could feel it because I
Yeah.
saw it resonating through some really seedy neighborhoods. I saw it resonating in the barbershop. Everybody was talking about it. I was
It
like,
must have
this
been
shit-
crazy to walk into a barbershop in the middle of that show just blowing up and
Man,
you're
do
like,
you know how many motherfuckers that blew up off that show? Like, let me tell you something. This is what people don't understand. Whenever Chappelle show was on and you saw a scene where it was real niggas in the background, it was real niggas in the background. Those was my niggas, son. Yo, I know some people gonna take it, but this is some real shit.
Yeah.
Because I was living in Brownsville and I had some friends that didn't take advantage of opportunities or just didn't see the right way or
Yeah.
just never were a part of it. And some of my guys, my friends that weren't working, I was like, yo, come be a background on Chappelle's show. You'll get $75, you get some free food, and you get to be around it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Anytime, for the most part, anytime you saw a posse, it was dudes that
That
I
you
knew.
knew.
That's how real. In fact,
Oh my gosh.
one of the a big scene, Wayne. People always ask me what was my favorite sketch. My favorite sketch was the Wayne Brady sketch.
That
And the
was
reason
amazing
why,
sketch.
how it was born,
yeah.
how it came off. Like we did a joke about Wayne Brady.
Mooney, right?
With Mooney,
yeah.
yeah. And Wayne Brady was a huge fan of Chappelle's show, and he wasn't bitching or crying or anything. He was just, like a little bit more disappointed, more than anything. And I know part of that was because
Did he reach out and express that?
yeah, him and Dave ran into each other. And I understand Wayne Brady's frustration because Wayne Brady is one of the most talented people I've ever met in my life.
For sure.
But his path is not the same path of someone from the streets or whatever. It don't mean that
Yeah.
he didn't have to work for it.
Of
Didn't
course.
mean that he didn't have to beat everybody out in an audition. The dude is talented. And sometimes in the black community, if you don't speak a certain way, they don't respect you. He has diction. He's articulate. Sometimes, oh, that corny ass nerd motherfucker.
Yeah.
So for this sketch to come through, not Wayne's disapproval of a joke, but just frustration or just, disappointment of a joke.
Yeah.
For Dave to reach out and then to invite him, like let's just call a truce with this, and it really gave people opportunity to see what Wayne Brady's range was.
Yeah.
That's why I like the sketch so much because it was dark. It wasn't like
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't like I call comedy. I just Bojangles. It wasn't that. It was some.
Right.
It was
my
some real
favorite
shit. You can
chicken.
laugh about Jacobs a little louder. Say. Don't your fans are your fans. Yo, your fans like deplorables. They're never gonna leave you. Say.
No, I remember
But it was so-
the joke that prompted that was, I forget, so and so makes Wayne Brady look like Malcolm X.
Yeah.
That was the joke. I forget who.
Brian Gumbel, something like
Brian-
that.
yeah, something like
yeah, but
that,
here,
yeah.
going back to the story.
Yeah.
So, in that sketch, they had to have women of the night, like streetwalkers or whatever, right? And part of that show was I was really cool with casting. So what I would do is look at the scripts before we had them, and I would see, like, if there was something for one of my friends. It wasn't no lines. It was just like, like homeboys on the stoop. I'm like, oh, I got 5 of them motherfuckers. They on the stoop now, right?
Right. Yeah.
Hoes twerking. I just saw some hoes twerking the other day, right? So it was like the scene, women of the night. So it was one of my friends. She was a exotic dancer. She was funny. I liked. She used to come to my comedy shows. Really, very strong. Her name was Pearl. So I said, Pearl, we got this scene. I said, I don't want to be disrespectful, whatever, but it's kind of like scantily dressed. You know, you're playing a street walk or whatever. So all the other women that they casted, they were professional actresses.
Right.
Like they auditioned for it.
Right.
So they took
Their agent got them a call.
their agent
back,
got them
yeah.
called, but it was like, we don't want them to wear heels. The heel has to be 4 inches or lower. You know, that type
Yeah,
of shit. Like
sure.
their fingernail has to be, you know, they were just like real actresses.
And here
So-
comes Pearl.
No, wait a minute. No, you're real actresses, right? So they were like, okay, all right, here we go. We're gonna go, guys. Back to one. They took their robes off, put them on the side, then they went out there and they walked the street. And then they say, cut. They couldn't wait to put their robes on. Now Pearl. Pearl was ass out the whole shoot, son. Like thong. I don't know. Everybody, all the grips, everybody's like, I don't know where the fuck Pearl came from. But she's got our vote. Like she's talking to the grips, twerking at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Standards and practices nowhere near, right?
Yeah.
She's twerking. And she got close to Wayne and Dave. She was talking. And then she just got close to the car. And then she just said, hi, Dave. I like your new show, Dave. She went from background
Yeah.
to a U5. And that show at the time, it didn't matter what the fuck you did. If you was in a scene, you blew up the next day.
That's right.
So she now is one of the hottest strippers in the country now.
Really?
Yeah, now she telling me her stripper chronicles. She said her stripper chronicles.
Yeah.
She's like, you know, it's like all these bitches be hating on me. She said, I'm on the Chappelle show. I like your new show, Dave.
Oh, that's right, because that show also, I forget all the time, that popped Bill Burr for sure.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
No, you know what? I don't think it was that show that popped Bill Burr.
Well, it gave him.
Bill Burr was going to pop.
That's for sure.
Yeah,
but
that was like for all of us. It was like
there's exposure though.
It was exposure. In fact, the story when I heard one of your podcasts, you talking about following a destroyer.
Yeah.
On stage. So when we were doing Chappelle show, it was the second year. We weren't really making a lot of money, but we were popular.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, everybody's yelling out, I'm rich, bitch. I'm
Yeah.
Rick James, bitch, and everything. And like, we wasn't really making a lot of money. And at the time, Bill Burr was probably, at the time, $1,000 a week headliner. You know what I'm saying? And that's not saying that insulting. You know where he is
No, I
now
know,
or anything.
I know.
But we all go through that.
Of course.
But you knew whenever you saw Bill Burr perform, you knew this white boy about to blow.
Yeah.
All he had to do was position himself, and that's what he did.
Yeah.
So I said, we can't do this, man. We can't not have money, and we're so popular. So I said, man, we should do a tour. I'm Rich Bitch tour. So my manager reached out to he's big time agent now. He reps Bill now.
Berkowitz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Berkowitz was a young agent at the time. So
Sure.
we basically just walked one of the dopest tour into his office.
Yeah.
Rich Bitch tour. We worked for a year.
You, Charlie, and Bill.
At the time, Charlie Murphy had never did stand up.
Yep.
As tough as you think Charlie Murphy is, I used to always fuck with him. I'm like, yeah, you tough. You motherfucking all these tough ass gangster roles, but you turn into a bitch when you get a microphone in front of your face.
Oh, shit.
And he didn't want to be no bitch no more. So finally he went, took him to his, this is when Laugh Factory, went to New York. They tried to stint there, took him there to a black show. He went on stage for the first time. We got him up to 10 minutes. It was just, me and Charlie was the draw. But I knew Bill Burr was fire. So I was like, instead of just having me and Charlie as a draw, we don't know who's going to be the feature. Why don't we have somebody that was perfect? Bill Burr was on the show, and Bill Burr was an animal.
Yeah.
So it would be Charlie Murphy would go on and do 10, 15 minutes, and Bill Burr do 20 to 30. And you know what Bill Burr does to a stage. When I tell people talking about how you get stronger, try being on the road with Bill Burr for a year.
Yeah. Following that.
You have no days off.
Yeah.
Anytime if I would have had even close to a mediocre set, the comment cards would come in. The show was good, but I like the white boy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why I can't work in hilarities right now, because I had a bad set behind Bill and hilarities. Yo, that'd be the realest shit I ever wrote. I'm like, why don't they like me? No, it's not that they don't like you, Donnell. They prefer Chick-fil-A sandwiches over Popeye's chicken. And I'd never work hilarities again. But every night it forced me.
Monster.
He's a monster.
Yeah.
Every night. And then I'm telling you, Bill, Charlie, boom, Bill, whop. And then right when you're like, oh, I'm going, and every night I had to come in and fire it up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know.
Good morning, Julia. Did you like that highlight? Why not watch a whole episode or look at other highlights here, or you can subscribe right here so you know when that...
Dumb broad.
What? I did that right. I know I did. Did I do that right?
That was a perfect one.
That's a great one.